Today with Ray. Hello, my friends. Well, today I want to jump on that Sharp Interactive board and I want to go through some numbers over at CDW for their FY 2022. And I brought in a helper to talk through this conversation with me. But before I bring out the helper from the green room, I want to just share something with you. CDW net sales for 2022 were $23.7 billion. They had an operating profit of $1.7 billion, about 6.5%. Folks, you can see that CDW is a pretty substantial company. And the reason I want to talk about CDW and the reason I'm bringing a special guest in to talk to me about CDW is I think our industry is missing the boat. They're completely confused and they don't understand the reality of how an organization built a $27 billion business by selling compute products. So without any further ado, Norm, come out of that green room and let's have a conversation. Norm, it's always...
Oh, here I am. Okay.
Yeah, it's great having you on. You know, Norm, I said we were talking about this CDW thing, and it's just amazing to me because we still have dealers that don't believe they can sell computer products, tech products online, and they're still arguing about it and all this nonsense. And here we see CDW. And, you know, by the way, CDW's revenue of $27 billion, or was it $23.7 billion, is twice the size of Ricoh Global. It's 3 times the size of Xerox. It's like 2.5, almost 3 times the size of Konica Minolta. So CDW is doing a lot of things right. So Norm, you know, give me your take on this, man.
Well, I think to start off, I always like the expression of everybody's entitled to their own opinions, but not their own facts.
Bingo.
I've heard a lot of resellers tell me that I don't really want to sell IT hardware. I'm a services company. Or there's no money in IT hardware. And simply put, CDW blows those notions out of the water. There is margin. Mm-hmm. They made last year 31% margin on selling products. That category, and most of what CDW sells is IT products and hardware. Make no mistake. They're not a services company. They're by and large a hardware reseller. And that category increased for them last year over 14%, which really means it doubles every 5 years. So to me, as a reseller, that would be a category. Those are the facts, and that would be a category that I would want to run headlong into because it's chock full of products that customers, business customers, need and will buy every single day.
Well, you know, Norm, I think a lot of our friends are just confused, and I want to just share with you how I vision a dealer, and I'm going to start out with one of our mega dealer friends as an example. But how a dealer would literally, let's say they got over 6,000 customers. They have over 6,000 customers. Those customers are going to Amazon, they're going to CDW, they're going out there on the internet and they're buying stuff for their office. They're buying earbuds, they're buying notebooks, they're buying all kinds of tech stuff. And I believe that our dealers could have a place on their website for them to do this. But I also believe that our dealers make things so damn complicated. You know, a while back I had an office supply company on about 1.5 years ago, and he was telling me how he sells $6 million worth of toner in cash transactions online because all the dealers in his marketplace want to make everybody sign an MPS contract. And I think our dealer friends, they think everything has to be on some kind of a contract, and obviously you're going to get the contract stuff. But more importantly, why in the hell are you leaving all this money to CDW? Why are you not allowing your customers just to go there and buy their damn earbuds without being bothered, without having to fill out a form? Am I right? Am I thinking?
Oh, you're absolutely right, and it goes on to that point. If somebody has 5,000 or 6,000 customers, you know, CDW is bigger. Make no mistake.
Oh yeah.
But if you quickly do the math, you know, at $23 billion, CDW has 250,000 customers, right? So with your 6,000 customers, you know, what are you looking at? You know, you could getting 1% of CDW's business based on your scale would still be a giant amount of money at a $6,000 company or a 6,000 customer company. So the other part that's important is one of the biggest things that people are asking today of our business is how can you help me get leads? And people are going to say, you know what? What if somebody buys something online? Then you know that they're a business. They actually have a need. They came to you and they bought something. That's the best lead of all.
Yeah, but Norm, if they do that, they're going to buy the wrong thing. Because little Sally or Betty didn't interrupt him, didn't get on the line with him. You know, hey, wait a second, don't click buy now. We want to share this with you. Put it on a lease. And so, I think that's the industry's biggest fear. They don't see any value in their business which is really nutty to me. But they don't see any value in their business helping people without them interfering with them. When in all reality, that could be the greatest value they have. That could be the greatest experience for the customer. Hey, I really like going to this ABC company's website to buy my tech stuff because it's so much less complicated than what I got to go through on Amazon. You know, I don't have a bunch of ads popping up as I'm trying to buy something. I really like being with this company. And we don't think that's beneficial. I think it's beneficial.
Yeah, Ray, this entire category, as big as you think CDW is, this category is not owned by anyone. CDW and their revenue and their customer size represents a very small piece.
Well, so, Norm, actually, they're the smallest one of the three. Tech Data is $60 billion. Ingram Micro is $55 billion.
Yeah, well, I mean, CDW is selling directly to business customers, and it's another important thing. You know, you can talk about their margins and everything else. Nobody keeps inventory of IT products. You know, if somebody gives an order to CDW, they just turn around and get it from Ingram or Tech Data and ship it right to the customer's door, right? So processes have to be pretty tightened up. They can't have people going in demonstrating products. You know, it's just it's a laptop. You know, it's on it. I need one. You know, a new customer starts today. I need this thing tomorrow. Get it to me. And that's how IT is sold. So I keep looking at the dealerships that we have, particularly print dealers that have, you know, long-standing relationships, and just say, introduce this product. You're local. You know, you have salespeople, you have service people. There's no reason that a customer won't come to you and buy these IT products versus going to somebody else, a faceless organization like CDW. So
as long as it's not complicated, and as long as we don't try to change the name from e-commerce to some digital, I mean, we're trying to reinvent e-commerce is the other thing that I'm seeing out there. So we won't accept e-commerce the way it's the largest industry in the world, by the way. So we won't accept the fact that e-commerce works just the way it is. We have to try to reinvent it because we're the document imaging channel and we know best, even though we're not even dabbling in e-commerce, and we completely missed the opportunity to get into it through we're in the fourth year of this global pandemic nonsense. Fourth year. And we still have dealers that aren't understanding the value of selling online. It's absurd.
Yeah, you know, you could come up with, you just ask anybody off the street, what's e-commerce? And they might not, I don't really know the definition, but I bet you within a minute they'll come up and say, well, I go online, I see something I want, I click it, and I buy it. See, click, buy. That's e-commerce. And if you don't offer the customer that, they won't go to you. Full stop. Because that's their expectation. They don't want to fill out a form, they don't want to talk to somebody, they just want to see, click, and buy. And once they do that, and you allow them to do that, then why wouldn't they buy these products? But I've also worked with dealers, and you know, a good recent conversation I had with one was just to say, tell me about your process today. If you wanted to sell somebody a transactional product, let's say, could be a laptop, could be a toner cartridge, could be an A4 printer. Tell me how that process would work. And really the convoluted nature of a customer calling a sales rep asking somebody in purchasing asking somebody that sources the product from distribution, coming back, adding a margin, presenting to the customer, oh, here, I can get you this product for, you know, for this much money. And the customer's mind is like, why would anybody do that when I could go to CDW or anywhere else and click and buy? Yeah. It's you cannot ask a customer to do that. They just simply won't. And well, you know, the good news when I talk to this customer, I guess if you want to call it good news, is that doesn't happen very often. Well, why is that? Because customers have already decided, if you don't have a process to let me go online, I'm not dealing with you. Full stop.
It seems to me, because I've talked to some of the dealers about e-commerce too, and it seems to me that they have all these one-off crazy excuses that are not even logical to begin with. But what is the real root of the problem? And none of them can tell me this when I ask them, why the hell are you not doing this? And it's like, you know, why are they not doing this? You know, you talk to them more than I do, but what the hell are they not doing this for? It doesn't have to be perfect. They just need to do it. And I realize we got some folks out in the industry that are coming up with these convoluted e-commerce platforms to sell a bottle of toner and a printer, and that's not what we're talking about here. But you know, what exactly is holding them back?
I think that they still see themselves as, you know, first of all, they see themselves as service organizations, whatever that means. And if you think about print, the moment they say they're a service organization, I'll ask, well, how many printers do you have under contract? And tell me their myth is this. Mm-hmm. Well, those are products, right? So you're selling products, but they see themselves as a sales-led organization, mm-hmm. and that doesn't work in the world anymore. There's no such thing, no such product, particularly in the industries that you operate in, are sales-led. They're marketing-led. They're e-commerce led. Mm-hmm. That's how you source products today. So, and really all of those processes, they're trying to overlay new products into an existing, process.
Mm-hmm. Which is, we talked about that before.
Yeah, all of those things. So that doesn't work. And that is the trepidation. Like, we have customers, my customers are dealers that are selling hundreds of thousands of dollars of toner, mm-hmm. just toner. Every month. Mm-hmm. I had a copier dealer the other day say, give me an example of a customer that's selling a lot of toner. And I said, well, it's this customer. I'll use their name, Daisy Eco. Great company, mm-hmm. right? They just sell toner. Well, I don't want to know about them. I want to know about another copier dealer. It's like, why wouldn't you want to know who's selling a lot? Like, these guys are doing it right because they have a simple process. Or, another good customer that we have, Managed Solutions Group. They evolved from a company that sold, mostly toner and print hardware supplies into one that sells, more of their business now is in IT, selling hundreds of thousands of dollars of products, even on an order, getting that, so once you present the customer with this type of process, they buy. There's a little work involved, for sure. Getting anybody to, to start buying a category from you takes work, but you just need to have, they'll never buy that category from you if it requires them going outside of their normal process of acquiring things, which is e-commerce now.
I'm thinking of this. You said something interesting there. An industry's disrupted when they forgot to look for the competitor because they thought the competitor was the guy doing the same thing they're doing, and this is a true definition of that. But how much money does a dealer invest? Here's a great example. Hey, we want to start selling production print. Okay, first of all, I had my own opinion on that. It's nonsense. But they're going to invest all this money to get the machine in there. They're going to get the text train. They're going to buy all this inventory. They're going to do all of this thing to sell the production machine. And I'm thinking to myself, how much does it cost them to start selling stuff online? And why in the hell are they not doing that? Because that's really the future. And, I just don't get it at all.
Right, even if you just throw out a number like, hey, you're going to have let's compare it to a sales rep. Let's say, business is slow or a sales rep resigns. I got to hire a new sales rep. Mm-hmm. Well, what's that person going to cost you? $100,000 a year? Mm-hmm. What revenue are they going to bring in? Compared to what's it going to cost you to start up e-commerce? Getting the website, getting the infrastructure prepared in terms of, what you're going to pay me. Sure. Maybe it's going to cost you $10,000. So it's not even apples to apples, but the difficulty then becomes, once you've got it, what about your own internal resources? Mm-hmm. And you're fighting a process that they've had for 20 or 30 years that everybody's comfortable with. It's like, I get that you're comfortable with it, but the customers aren't using that process to source new products. And if you want to get into a new category, you got to think the way, just look at what the customer wants and give the people what they want. In this case, they want IT hardware. And it's growing, and that's a market I'd want to get into.
Well, I will just wrap it up by saying this. CDW sells a whole lot of print equipment in that $23 billion. And as the print equipment continues to reduce in service needs as we move more to ink, as the business print equipment continues to become A4, guess what? CDW is not only your competitor, they're probably going to wipe you off the map unless you make a change. And at the end of the day, there's no reason in the world why you can't stick your foot in that water and start selling technology. Norm, it's always great having you on. Is there anything you want to add before we end?
I think what I want to add, Ray, is that status quo is the killer of all that will be invented.
There you go. I'm not going to say it twice. We'll see you all on Monday.